The Atlanta Falcons are expected to release Kirk Cousins before March 16th of 2025, which is when he would be due an additional $10 million roster bonus. And as we talked about last week on the show, sources say that the divorce is absolutely inevitable up until this point, meaning that the Atlanta Falcons will have officially paid $62.5 million for 14 games, 9 months of Kirk Cousins, 18 touchdowns of Kirk Cousins. That is what the Atlanta Falcons have done to themselves after getting into this Kirk Cousins debacle. And let's just be real. The front office has some explaining to do with the structure of this contract. Because if you know that it is an Achilles injury, despite Kirk being one of the healthiest and most durable quarterbacks in the NFL in his time, again, he had only missed one game due to injury. The other game was due to COVID, and then he tore his Achilles. And Kirk looked good through the first 10 weeks of the NFL season. 17 touchdowns. I think it was 8 interceptions. And then over the backstretch, 1 touchdown, 9 interceptions. Just absolutely horrible for Kirk. You knew that players are not the same once they come off this Achilles injury. Terry Fontenot, Arthur Blank, Raheem Morris. The front office has some explaining to do with the structure of this contract because you knew there was a possibility that Kirk Cousins could get out there and hurt himself. And if he didn't, he could possibly play bad. He could look like he just came off an Achilles injury because we know the Achilles can age you. Unless you're Kobe, who's one of the few athletes to come back from it, you are never the same after that injury. You're just not. You're not. And Atlanta knew that there was the risk. And they decided that sinking $62.5 million in yearly cash into him in the first year would be a smart idea. You realize, Atlanta, that you just went out and made Kirk Cousins the highest paid quarterback for a 1-year deal just about. You might as well just sign him to a 1-year $60 to $65 million contract. Now, I know the money doesn't exactly play out that way, but that's massive. I mean, that yearly cash is towards the tops of the league. Even some of the highest paid players don't have yearly cash like that. But the reason it hurts is because you paid that much for a quarterback to not even lead you through the playoffs. Now, maybe you view this as a hindsight. It's not really going to cost you any cap from the year on. Of course, you're going to cut him before March 16th, where he'll not be due that $10 million bonus. But I think it was great for Michael Penix to be able to learn from behind him and learn from Kirk Cousins, being one of the better veterans in this league. Yes, he might not have major playoff wins, but Kirk Cousins is always towards the tops of the league in production. He's consistently a top 12 to 10 quarterback. The Atlanta Falcons, with the way they structured this contract and with the way that this deal is played out, it's bad. It's really bad. And again, I don't blame Atlanta for signing Kirk Cousins because you were off 3 straight 7-10 seasons. You had a loaded offense, Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. You had bad quarterback play between the last years of Matt Ryan and then Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, and whoever else wanted to decide to make a way. And you go and sign a proven veteran who shows that he can deliver the football and produce at a high level. And through the first 10 weeks of the NFL season, that's what Kirk Cousins was doing. He was delivering to a Darnell Mooney, a Ray McLeod, a Kyle Pitts, a Drake London, a Bijan Robinson. Just somebody who could read a defense, identify a too high shell if it was needed, and not freak out when it came to pressure. Now, yes, he's a statue in the pocket, but we know that he's coming off this Achilles injury. I will say, at least Atlanta's moving on from Kirk Cousins quickly, although I do think it's too quick, and again, at an odd point in the season, because with Kirk, you win, you get back to 500, you end a 4-game losing streak, you have a chance to get into the playoffs and win your division, and you turn the keys over to a rookie. I'm not knocking Michael Penix because he came out and looked great in his NFL debut, albeit the New York Giants, and we're going to grade him on his debut in a second. But I just thought the timing, as I talked about on last week's show, was very weird. Absolutely insane that the Atlanta Falcons already, Kirk Cousins, 10 games, you gave us a 5-game skid. That's it. We're expected to cut you. We know that Kirk Cousins will have plenty of suitors this offseason. There's no question about that. But Atlanta just fumbled the bag majorly on this one. Major fumble the bag. Terry Fontenot, you got some splaining to do. I know you've built a great team around what Michael Penix is going to take over now, but you structured this deal this way, knowing this could happen, and now it's come full circle. The results are in your face. Now, I think you've got a great quarterback in the room, no doubt. And Atlanta's got great players. Atlanta's got a Super Bowl worthy roster. Can they find the quarterback to take them there? But more importantly, will the front office be able to find the quarterback and the pieces to put with that quarterback, which are really already there, to take them there? As a Saints fan, I'll admit the Atlanta Falcons have a Super Bowl worthy roster. They do. You go look at their team and you look at that roster and you slap any other helmet and a Super Bowl winning quarterback on that team, and you would think the same. You would.